Alright guys, I'm here with a bit of an update. Which update is this?
2.17.0.
Okay, 2.17.0. I'm here with Dex, who's the modpack creator. You might know him as Kev12East, as he's listed on the Feed the Beast launcher. Which is it? Which do you prefer?
I just go by Dex these days.
Dex. Yeah, you'll see him on the public server from time to time. And I'm also here with Sheep. Sheep decided to come over and keep me company while I was doing this. We're going to talk through some of the changes in this update to Technofirma. I've divided it into fixes, new recipes, nerfs, and buffs as well. So let's have a look. First one is the blank slate recipe. So apparently, what was it? That used to use like a tier 3 altar, was it?
Yeah, it was basically a recipe loop where you could not progress in blood magic at all.
Yay, so it's fixed. Fantastic. We've also got the vanilla hoppers that used to be a little bit overpowered. You could convert it from the TFC hopper direct, and those were a lot cheaper. And you fixed the chest recipe in that as well.
Yes.
Yeah, so you can now use any chest for that. Okay, and we've got the ritual stones, which I think is actually something I messed up, wasn't it? There was like a problem with the crafting recipe for that. You used to be able to, well, it was set to use ore dictionary versions of obsidian, but now it just uses obsidian directly, so you can actually craft those, which is nice. We've also got a new recipe for buttons. You can convert them direct from rocks now instead of having to, what was it before? The actual cobblestone.
No, it was a full stone block.
Right, okay. Yeah, so it's a little bit easier to craft them now, in case you want to use them for doors and stuff. There's another recipe on there with hammers and chisels. I don't know why you'd want to use that. Use the rock recipe now. There was... Greatwood logs were a little bit overpowered before. You could basically get them really early game, and, well, because you can convert them direct into Greatwood planks like this. And you could then use that to expand your crafting grid, like straight off the bat, and that has been removed. I think that's been removed for a while, actually. You can still use them for like carpenter's blocks and stuff. It's just a little, the progression's no longer quite as broken. And also there's a new recipe for raw fish, the Minecraft version. So if you've ever spent like 20 minutes fishing for TFC fish so you could feed yourself and then tried to cut the decay off them and they convert into raw fish, you'll appreciate that new recipe. We've also got some new recipes. So an item that's been in the pack for a while is the Technofirma version of the oil lanterns. I think they were included just so they could use different types of fuel and because the model looked a little bit nicer. You can make those in the anvil. You just take your ingot, you turn it straight into your lamp, and you can fill it either with oil, olive oil, or gasoline, which is Buildcraft fuel. We've also got a new recipe for an item you can make out of shears. Convert them straight into leaf biters, which are a special variant of the shears, and you can use those to get leaves. Does that mean that you've got plans for recipes involving leaves, Dex?
Yes, the current plan is to add a recipe to obtain saplings for tree farming.
Okay. Yeah, well, I can say from experience it's getting a little bit old having to run all the way to a forest to get wood, so that'll be pretty cool. I've got the Apprentice Blood Orb in here as well, and the big difference with that is that requires amber now. So where do you get amber from?
It is an ore that generates in the world. You'll find it. It is prospectable with the normal prospector's pick, and you find that in sedimentary rocks.
Okay, cool. I'm gonna have to probably explore for another week to find that, I think.
It is kind of rare.
We've got a better recipe for the pipe sealant now, so you can still make it using your green dye. But if you're having trouble finding green dye, you can also just make it out of a combination of rubber and mortar and get 2 pipe sealant for each one of those. And also, if you're a new player and you've had trouble getting a large rawhide, you're in luck. If you need to set your spawn for your new base, there's actually a recipe to create large rawhides out of a small hide, a medium rawhide, and a couple of strings. But you also need to make this bone needle first, which is made using a full durability stone knife with a bone. What's that? Onto the nerfs chest. Iron tank walls. That recipe looks painful. So why did these get nerfed so hard?
To balance for the IE tanks.
Alright, so they were just added recently, right? So I guess the
Yeah.
railcraft ones have higher capacity, so it makes sense that they'd be a little bit more expensive. And also the berth, which is just broken, that now requires wool and clay along with the lumber. But why would you want to do that anyway? You should be using the DecoCraft beds. They look much better. And then last is the bus chest, which has one item in it, one lonely item, the Minecraft tracks. Now you can now make 256 of those instead of, what was it before, like 64 or something?
52.
52, yeah. So with all the traveling you're going to have to do in Terraforma Craft, that'll make it a lot easier, hopefully, to get from A to B. Another change which I thought was interesting was the log pile gravity. So if I just show that, used to be you could stack these up as high as you wanted as long as they were full. But now if you put one on top of the other, there you go, they'll fall down. So you have to kind of stack them in a pyramid shape now to stop them from collapsing on themselves. I think that's more or less it. We've had some new mods added though, so some of the big ones, my personal favorite is logistics pipe. So for the first time we're actually going to be able to auto sort. We're going to be able to auto sort items into chests, so all the junk you pick up whilst mining, you don't have to go through all of your chests to store things. That better boats mod, does that actually work?
Yes. It fixes the desync issues with boats. So they are now usable on servers.
Yeah, and again, when you're spending days on end exploring for things, that might make it a little bit less painful, I guess. Yeah, I mean, that's all I can think of. Can you think of anything else, Dex?
No, not really.
Okay, perfect. Well, thank you for walking through this with me.
No problem.